Hey, this is Zirconium coming at you with Chaos Breaker discussion. Those of you who follow me know that I put a few videos up there. Sorry I took them down. The whole proxy thing, you know. I really want people to support the game. I know the cards aren't out yet, but I am going to talk about the material here. But I also want to just talk about the cards more so and just in more detail. So this is kind of in response, I guess, somewhat to Jonathan, who has his own channel, and I recommend you check him out. He's over on the other side of the planet, and he was asking what people's takes were on Chaos. I think Chaos is actually really good, in theory. And there are good things about this suite of cards that we're getting for premium and for standard. I really feel like the collection is not only standard support, but premium support. Zirconium, I mean, just screams premium. So let's just go through the cards. So Chaos Breaker himself does not give a gift, but he gets them from the opponent. So continuous Vanguard, Rearguard. During your turn, if your opponent has a locked card, the unit gets 10k, so this is a 23k beat stick. It's just really amazing. Act on Vanguard once per turn, cost counterblast 1. Your opponent gets an imaginary gift force. 1 or 2, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and lock it. Your opponent gets to put that gift marker wherever they want, and then you go ahead and lock. So see where they put it, maybe that's what you lock. Auto Vanguard, when your opponent's locked card is unlocked, costs Soul Blast 1. This isn't once per turn. Retire one of those unlocked units, draw a card. Your opponent removes a total of 2 markers from his or her circles or protect from the hand, and you get an imaginary gift force for each marker or protect removed, each gift. This is not once per turn. This reminds me of old Chaos Breaker, where we could spam his ability when a bunch of cards unlock. We Soul Blast a lot of Starvaders to draw a bunch of cards. The beautiful thing about him is it doesn't say Starvader. Any card. That's the really nice thing about this card. It's the first fix that I wanted to talk about, is it's not Starvader specific, and this is really, really good. We would have really loved this when we were playing Chaos Messiah and G-Era. It just would have been phenomenal if we'd had something like that. So, but now we do. Now we do. So you're going to get markers off of unlocking cards during your opponent's turn. So it's okay that he doesn't give a gift. You're really not going to use the lock ability that he has unless you went first. So the card overall it's really good for premium. When you look at it at first, it's kind of like, well, no, it's really, really good for premium. If you went second and you stride, go into Universe, lock something. There's a few other cards that you could use as well to do the same thing. Yeah. And so that's him. And then going to the grade 2, Zirconium. I love this guy. Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard, Circle. And this is really important. He's Vanguard, Rearguard. When placed, if you have a Vanguard with Starvader in its card name, which could be him when he's placed, cost counterblast 1, your opponent looks at the top card of his or her deck and puts it on an open Rearguard circle as a locked card. If that locked card was put in the back row, you draw a card and he gets plus 10k. It's phenomenal. It's very good. It's ripping a card off your opponent's deck, it's milling them just a little bit, and it's just bonuses all around. And not only that, it's a grade 2 lock. Mobius Breath, not so great. This guy, amazing. Is it Mobius Breath or Mobius Dragon, whatever he is. He's grade 2, he was a 9k grade 2. When on Vanguard, if you hit your opponent, you get a lock of one of their cards. Well, this doesn't have to hit or anything, it's just on placement, counterblast 1. You just need a counterblast, and you get to do this. Continuous Rearguard Circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your opponent has a locked card, the original critical of all your Vanguards becomes 2. So it doesn't get plus 1, it becomes 2. So if 2 of him in play, your Vanguard is still 2. So this means your actual markers, the ones you want to go after, are force 1. He's going to give the extra crit. Really good for standard, and oh my goodness, this is really good for Stark. Love this. It's what I've been waiting for. 3 swings with Stark at 2 critical. Aces. And then lastly, Starvader Craving Claw is our grade 1. Auto Vanguard Rearguard, when it's attack or the attack it boosts hits a Vanguard, and I just want to stop. I really appreciate Bushiroad for doing these kinds of cards where it's when it attacks or when it's boosting. It's just awesome. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Starvader and its card name from among them. In standard, that's going to be itself Zirconium or Chaos Breaker. From among them, and put it in your hand shelf of your deck. When you're playing premium, it might be Glob, it might be Dubnium, it might be Colony Maker, it might be Photon. Yeah, act, rearguard, circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, costs, put this into your soul. Choose up to one of your opponent's locked cards, unlock it. If you unlocked a card, choose one of your opponent's rearguards other than that, the unlocked unit, and lock it. So, if we go back to Chaos Breaker, this happens, the auto, the proc happens anytime. Anytime one of your opponent's locked cards is unlocked. Not at the end of turn, anytime. So just want that to be clear. And this guy is going to allow you to, 1, get soul that you need, 2, lock another card because you're going to unlock to retire, to then lock another card, and 3, draw. It's really good. It actually is really, really good. I wanted to say it's kind of the weakest out of the 3, but honestly, the 3 of them really help each other, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to be able to start thinking about Chaos Breaker once again. This is really where the game, for the most part, really started for me. I have my old Chaos Breaker playmat, was the first playmat I ever got. I had bought a set of Link Joker cards around probably $250 off eBay. I forget what year it was, but yeah, this is really exciting for me. I mean, not sound exciting. I had a busy work week. Just got out of clinic maybe 2 hours ago, and here I am talking about one of the clans that I really love in Vanguard. Really excited about. So how are we going to get this to work? Okay, that's the thing. Again, I want to see this being play tested against Cardfight Gurgwit. That's what I want to see. Unfortunately, one of my friends that I do play with has Gurgwit, and we will be play testing this because that is the deck to beat right now. Excel decks, this will have a harder time at Excel decks that can spam Excel circles. Force, I could see this eating Force alive. Protect, it just dismantles their protection. I play Shiranui as well. I could see this just absolutely pulverizing that deck. And so it'll be interesting. But, you know, Gurgwit getting 3, 4, 5, whatever markers so quick, and then watching this just eat those markers up, retiring cards that are on those markers. I'm excited to see what I'm able to do with this deck. So again, I did put deck profile up there, but I do want to talk about this more. And I've thought about it more. So starter, I would still pack some Force 2 if you need them, but you're basically going to go into this. And I'm sure I need more of these, and well, they may not end up being him just because he's so expensive right now. Yeah. So we have Chaos Breaker, we have Zirconium, and we have Claw. So cards that you're going to run, White Dwarf. Obviously going to run that because you want to search, right? So you're going to run her. It's a card that I sat on. It's coming in the mail. I will have them shortly, as well as this set once I get my play set when the set drops, collection 1. So one of the cards you're going to want to run, want to consider, is him. He countercharges, and so he's a Cyber Dragon focus card. He checks for Cyber Dragon on your Vanguard circle. Well, Chaos Breaker is really the only thing you're going to want to ride. And so this guy, the way he works is when placed, if your Vanguard is Cyber Dragon, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater, so an interceptor or greater, and bind it face down, then retire him to counter charge. So a little bit of board control and counter charge. Really, really good. Really good. One of the other cards that's a little controversial, I really don't like this card in Premium, is Collapse. But I think in Standard, I'm at least going to give it a shot. Because I will not be running this in Premium. There's no reason. You have Zinc. You don't need this. But this can help get Chaos Breaker or him on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle. So the way Collapse works is when an attack hits, look at 5 cards on the top of your deck, write or call up to 1 grade 3 Cyber Dragon from among the onto the circle as in rest, and then shuffle your deck. That's basically what it does. So if your opponent lets this hit when you're on Vanguard or Rearguard, you're going to check top 5, and you're going to call up to 1 grade 3 Cyber Dragon. So you can call Chaos Breaker. If you're on the Vanguard, that's what you'd want to do. If you're on the Rearguard, you would want to call him. You could also call Chaos Breaker if you want, but now it's a sitting duck. And it'd be great on your turn when it gets that plus 10k. But, you know, and if you want to thin your deck, I mean, there are some reasons to do it. However, if you get him, you swing, you place this. When placed, retire him, bind one of your opponent's grade 2 or higher, and counter charge. Not bad, not bad. It's a counter charge engine. And so these are 2 cards you're definitely gonna want to consider from VBT 04. It's been a while. So you definitely want White Dwarfs because you want to search for Chaos Breaker. It's really your only ride target. And then you're gonna want to consider these guys. So another card I would seriously consider is Taurus. Taurus is a 20k beater, and it is a continuous effect. Requires no cost. It just checks for a face down card on a rearguard circle or bind zone. So rearguard. If there are a total of 2 or more face down cards in any player's bind zone or circles, this unit gets plus 10. It's really, really, really good for us. It's one of our biggest numbers that we can get. Chaos Breakers, of course, are 23k beaters. This is a 20k beater. There's a card out there that I was watching a match just before I came on to show this, where they were using a Limitary Code Dragon. Limitary Code Dragon is a grade 2 where auto rearguard auto rearguard guardian circle. When placed, if you have more rearguards than your opponent, cost soul last 1. That's the first problem I have with this card. And this unit gets plus 10 shield, plus 10 attack until end of turn. You would think that's a good card, but this is better. This is much better. This does not eat up your soul. Your soul you want to use your soul for pretty much mostly one thing: drawing cards off Chaos Breaker. Whatever soul you get, consider it a draw. So you're using soul to draw cards, and that's what you want. If you want to draw cards, and so I would not recommend him. I would recommend this, running this at 2 to 4, depending on what you want to do. Yeah. So cards that we currently have: Imprint, these, and White Dwarf so far. Triggers, I'm going 7, 5, 4. You can do as you like. The draw power, ironically, Chaos Breaker having its own draw engine, we still found in G era that we would run kind of like a 6-6, 6 draw, 6 crit, and it worked pretty well. We're getting 2 criticals off of Zirconium, and we're getting markers from our opponent and as force 1 typically, because we want to stack. and it can stack as fast as your opponent stacks, pretty much for the most part. So that's what I'm doing for my trigger lineup. And so you can do as you like there. That's what I'll be testing and most likely sticking with. Again, Force 1 is really what you're going to be going after here. Stark, man, premium, definitely. So other cards to consider, you could consider Manipulator. Manipulator is a really interesting card. Yes, it has the feel of I'm running Messiah, but it's for any deck. You could run this in Deleter. The card pluses. You call a card from your hand. Let's see how it is. Is it from your hand? Let's see. When it's attack or the attack, it boosted hits. Again, it's one of those combo. And it's on Vanguard and Rearguard. Really powerful when a card's like that, right? Cost. Put a card from your hand onto the field as a lock, so it's not random, and then draw a card. So you're plussing. You're preparing for your next turn, but you're plussing. Any card that you put into play like this that says on placement, it's not going to work when you flip it because it's not being placed. It's just being unlocked. So kind of weak, kind of not necessary because we have Chaos Breaker. But I did want to talk about her. Okay, so that's one thing you could do. Could definitely run Crentinals if you want. There's her again. You can consider him if you're running against a lot of cards that search in the deck. This really hurts their soul, quite literally. Barl, people are going to argue for or against this card. There seems to be this division between players. This allows you to Omega Lock. You can also Omega Delete. We're not doing Deleter right now in discussion, but Omega Lock. Omega Lock was really powerful in early premium when we had Big Crunch, who literally did this on his own. You would lock a column and it was Omega Lock. So the opponent could not unlock that column at the end of their turn until the next turn after. So it does eat a little soul, but this is really good. If you get this on your grade 2 turn with Zirconium, your opponent has something to lock, Omega Lock it. Wait a turn. Just really stall your opponent. So I would strongly consider this. You've got this. More board, manipulation, jet shaft, force your opponent to intercept, remove cards. It's pretty good. It doesn't bind though, or lock, which is kind of problematic. So it eats soul, so you got to be mindful of that. A card that I really like is her, and this was a promo. Promos aren't always the best, but this one actually is really good. Her ability is one place from your hand. If your opponent has a face down card in his or her Vanguard or bind circle or bind zone, counterblast 1. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, bind them face down, and if 2 cards could not be bound, you countercharge. So you to soul charge. So if you can't bind 2 cards, you're gonna soul charge, which you need, and you're not gonna end up using that counterblast. The thing I like about this card is it hits 2 rear guards. It's a 1 for 2, or you could say you get 2 for 1, right? Really consider this card. Seriously consider this card. It's going to be better than Blast Monk. So, something you can do. Sorry for the noise upstairs. This is a video about chaos. There's chaos. So no, we just cleaning's occurring in the house. So, and then there's tech choices you could consider. These are really the only 3 that I would consider at this point. If you want to do Chaos Messiah, be nostalgic. If you wanted to go for a real clutch move, you could run a Dreidel or 2 if you have the room. So, yeah. So other things to talk about, premium. I will be bringing premium deck to you guys once I get the cards. The cards will be here right next month. But I will be playtesting. I may bring some videos to you on the playtesting, again, against top builds, top decks. That's really what I want to see, and I'm making a plea to the community of other Chaos players that you would absolutely test against things like Plon and Gurgwid things like that. I'm looking right here. I see, what do I see here? I see, oh, it looks like a, yeah, Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, Melody Plawn. This is what I want to see. So I'll be watching this once I get off the channel here. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts, comments. I'd love to see and hear about what you guys are doing in terms of building. Again, my apologies for posting some vids and then taking them down doing this. I think this may be more helpful in terms of discussion and just get yourself ready. The chaos stuff is hype right now. Just watch Robbie's marketplace this morning. It's real hype and it's real. You know, us Chaos Breaker players are pretty loyal. So if you want it on KS, get in there and get your stuff. Fortunately, your boss monster is going to be the new Chaos Breaker, so you should be able to get him. Hopefully, not to get some boxes, trade with friends. The older stuff, if you want to play premium, definitely pick it up. So, and remember, max rarity works just as well as base rarity. So if you want to play it affordable, just get the base rarity. It's okay. With regards to what I would run for premium, 4 of the new Chaos Breaker, maybe 1 Crisis. The problem with Crisis is you only get to draw 1 once, and I don't like that. Close is pretty good because it's getting cards out of your opponent's hand, so you may want to pick up Close, and I think Close was pretty reasonably priced base rarity right now. I would recommend picking him up. I'd pick a Universe up because the new Chaos Breaker is not a break stride like Crisis is, so I definitely would pick up Universe. Alphathani base rarity, I would run at least a copy. People do trash that card, but I actually really like it. It does come in clutch. If you're getting damage denied, it's actually really good. And then you're going to want Deluge. Those are pretty expensive, but you're going to want at least probably 2 of them. And Glue Ball, sure, Glue Ball, and get your hands on a Stark because it is really, really good. And now we're going to be able to stack force markers and make a really big cannon with Stark. And just drop a Zirconium, give it 2 crit, and go ham. Anyhow, this is Tom Zero Pass signing off. Stay safe, wear your masks, and until next time.